Hey guys, itaewon Sammy here. I am in Sejong City, which is a new city. Check this out. Look at this government building behind me. It is insane. It is connected by bridges to one huge building over there. So there's the bridge connecting to this huge building over here, and then another bridge connecting to another couple of buildings over there. This is like probably one of the biggest government buildings I have ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. So anyway, I am out here doing a quick meeting, heading back to Seoul. But I wanted to talk about what it's like to be a foreigner in Korea. And I'm going to talk about 2 points, all right? So 2 points I'm going to talk about. So the first point is how to be a short-term foreigner in Korea. So short-term means not a tourist, all right? Someone who comes here on business, someone who comes here for maybe 1 year, all right? So if you're doing that, you're going to probably find it pretty easy because you have an end date, all right? You know you're leaving. You know you're going back home and you are making those plans. You're here for business. You're here for, 1 year. You're here to do something. So that being said, you make your short-term friends, expats. You hang out in expat bars. You hang out in Itaewon or in Hongdae or Gangnam. And it's short-term, like you're here for a couple months or a year or whatever as a teacher. And it's a pretty easy life. It's not too complex. I mean, if you're young and you've never been outside of, your farm hometown in America or Canada or wherever, you might find culture shock. That's a big thing as well. Culture shock is a big issue. And I've known people who've run away from their contracts because they have culture shock. Sorry, it's a little chilly out here. I've known people who've run away after a few months because they weren't able to adjust to the culture. So you have to be, sorry for the loud noise, I'm waiting for my bus to take me back to the KTX. But you have to be motivated. You got to be motivated to be able to, what's the word? Adjust. You have to come into it with an open mind. Number one thing is you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to immerse yourself into Korean culture. If you're going to survive here, you got to learn basic Korean, you got to eat Korean food, and you got to live Korean. That's the only way you're going to survive. If you are homesick, if you miss your family too much, if you miss certain foods, you're not going to survive. I mean, I watch Survivor or Big Brother on TV and I see these people after like 2 weeks, I miss my family so much. I can't survive without them. I don't see my parents for 2 years. I barely talk to them. Now that's just me. Maybe I'm a sociopath. I don't know. But for me, I don't understand that. I understand family connections and stuff like that, but it's not like they're dead. You're going to see them. So missing them, I don't understand the idea behind that. So that being said, if you're that kind of a mama's boy or daddy's girl, then you definitely need to consider that before you come out here to Korea, because you're going to have a huge culture shock because there are no dense foreigner areas. Like unless you live in Itaewon and hang out in Itaewon, but you're going to be exposed to the Korean lifestyle if you're working here, and if you're not able to assimilate, you're not going to survive. Now, long term is a little bit different. Someone who decides to reside here, like me, someone who gets married, someone who starts their own company and decides to move to Korea, life is much different for you. I'm going to say this, you will never be fully Korean, no matter what. Koreans are even more nationalistic than Americans, in my opinion. They are proudly Korean first, and then even to their hometowns. So, that being said, if you're a long-term Korean, you need to assimilate. And my Korean friends constantly make jokes to me about how Korean I am. and how much more Korean I am than they are. And the reason being is that I'm not very nationalistic. I'm Sri Lankan by birth, but I'm barely ever been to Sri Lanka. I was born in China, but I'm not Chinese. I grew up in Europe, but I'm not European. And I was raised in Canada. I'm a Canadian citizen, but I have no ties to Canada other than that's where my parents settled down. Korea is the 7th home I've had in my life, and over 150 countries I've traveled to. In my life, I've spoken 9 languages. So for me to ask me where do my loyalties lie, you know, my friends and family, wherever they happen to be. Right now, my loyalties are to Korea. This is my home. This is where I live. This is where I started a business. This is where I have a life. I've said this before in other videos. The last house I lived in was the longest house I've ever lived in at one time. I've never lived in a house longer than 7 years, and that was my last house. So that being said, you know, I'm a very unique character. I'm not the same as almost 90% of the people I know. Let me take a step back. The friends I've made here, all right, the friends I've made here are somewhat like me. Independent, free of their families, no ties, appreciate the adventure that they're going on, and want to be successful in Korea. So those kinds of people are the friends I've made, and I have a few like that. And I know many more people who have adjusted to living in Korea and become successful. I can probably, right off the top of my head, I can think of 20 people who are not Korean who have made successful lives here. I personally know them. And then there's hundreds more that, you know, I've seen on TV or read in magazines or what have you that are very successful here in Korea. So that being said, if you're here long term, you need to be that kind of a free spirit. And I don't mean free spirit, that kind of person who can jump to a challenge and is not easily dissuaded from their, you know, their plans. Oh yeah, take a look at this picture. So just to take a step back, look at this. So this is the center that I was talking about. So look, you can see it's connected from here all the way around to here. So that complex is huge. Look at that. That is insane. So I'm going to assume, oh wait, not only does it go all the way here, but it goes all the way over here too. I guess that's connected underground some way. So you got that place over there, and this place down here. So this is what. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. It's connected like this, all the way like that. Look at that, all the way around. Wow, that is insane. I can't believe that. That is incredible. Wow. Imagine having to walk from here all the way to here. I would go outside to do it instead of taking that sky route. That is incredible. I wonder. I gotta look this up and see what this place is. I'm assuming it's a government center. So anyway, if you are a long-term resident, or you want to become a long-term resident, you need to have that entrepreneurial spirit. You need to have that dedication to striving to overcome a lot of odds. But I'll tell you, if you can do it, you can be really successful. I have never been happier in my life than I am right this very minute. I get barely any sleep. I'm traveling. So today I traveled 90 minutes, 200 kilometers. I'm traveling 90 minutes back. I worked 40 minutes I had a 40-minute meeting. I'm going back, I have another 30-minute meeting, then I gotta go to the club. I've been up since 8 o'clock this morning. I'll go to bed at around 3 or 4 this morning. Tomorrow, I have to get my driver's test. So, I barely sleep. Why do I do it? I absolutely love what I'm doing, number one. Number two, it's a means to an end. This business will support my retirement. Because I'm going to talk about this in another video, what happened in my life. Anyway, my bus is coming. I want to say thank you to my loyal viewers. You guys are the best. I love you all. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the subscriptions. I've had a few in the last couple days, and I really appreciate the comments. Thank you, everybody. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to talking to you some more. itaewon Sammy, out.